played like it. But before the Bears, losing becomes a habit, and unfortunately a bad habit they're unable to shake to this point.
Lost 15 of their last 17. Let's look at the Chevrolet keys to the game. Top runner for Chicago, Anthony Thomas. Give him the ball.
And it keeps their defense off the field and helps Cordell Stewart with the passing game. The Raiders, everybody's saying, when are they going to play a complete game? They're very sporadic, and both of these teams have to tighten up their run defense. Look where they rank, almost at the bottom.
Well, the fans and the press here in Chicago very critical, and that includes even this man, all-pro middle linebacker Brian Urlacher.
It's our time now.
A magnificent football day here at the new Soldier Field. The Raiders and Bears ready to play. The Bears, the Raiders from Chicago.
It's going to be electric today.
Eric Barton very confident with the Raiders against the winless Bears, and there are the credentials of just a terrific football day. Let's go down to Bonnie Bernstein.
Well, Dick Duran shaking things up for the Bears, deciding to start two rookies on defense. Charles Tillman will replace Jerry Azuma at right cornerback. Lance Briggs gets the nod at strong side linebacker for Brian Knight. Azuma will go back to playing nickel where he excelled back in 2001. He will also return kicks today. Dick?
Thank you, Bonnie. Tillman is the #2 draft pick out of Louisiana Lafayette, and Briggs, the linebacker from Arizona, was the Bears' 3rd-round pick. We're set to go. Paul Edinger will send it into the blue. Justin Fargas and Ronnie Jenkins. It's Jenkins from the 10. Former San Diego Charger picks his way to the 30 and finally brought down about the 33. And it took half the Bears' special teams to get him to the turf. And here comes league's most valuable player a year ago, Rich Gannon, off his best game of the new season last Sunday against the Chargers. Barrett Robbins returns at center, and he has made the Raiders line even tougher. And on the 1-2 receiving punch, Tim Brown, and the ageless one, Jerry Rice, set records with every catch. From the 32, Raiders use a lot of motion and movement. Garner, the running back, he gets the call. Blasts his way for 3, maybe 4 into the teeth of the Bears defense that starts this way with Keith Traylor out. 328-pound Alfonso Boone becomes the run stopper. Brian Urlacher, 3 years, 3 Pro Bowls at middle linebacker, and R.W. McQuarters and the Bears secondary will have their hands full with Rice, Brown, and company today. On 2nd down, Gannon's first pass over the middle and complete. That'll be close to a first down out about the 43-yard line to Ronald Curry, the young wide receiver who was a great basketball player and football star in the state of Carolina. Played his collegiate football at the University of North Carolina. That for Curry, only his 3rd catch of the season. And close enough that they will measure. Bill Callahan, a Chicago native, bringing his Raiders back to the hometown, the home environs. He used to climb over the fence here, the old Soldier Field, just to be able to throw a football around. That close to a first down. Played his college ball at Benedictine of Illinois, about 25 miles to the west. There he is, coaching in high school here in Chicago at Oak Lawn and De La Salle, and an assistant coach at the University of Illinois. Never a head coach, of course, until he was given the reins of this Oakland Raider team by Al Davis a year ago.
Yes, Bill, a lot of family obligations. He looked at it and said, this is a business trip.
Zach Crockett is the short yardage expert. He gets the call. Boy, he may have gotten a couple of inches. That's all he needed. And it appears he has the first down.
Well, luckily, that's all they needed. That was not exactly a real pile-driving Raider play on third and very short. Doesn't take a whole lot. Zach Crockett, his specialty is the end zone. It's a guy that scored a touchdown on 20% of his carries last year.
Never got to full speed, did he?
No, but you could see he was easily across the first down marker. Luckily, it didn't take a whole lot.
Garner the setback. He gets the call. And he's out to the 47-yard line, close to 5 yards on the carry before Alex Brown, one of 3 defensive linemen from the University of Florida for the Chicago Bears.
Well, Chicago defensively, they've been trampled by people who've run the ball against them. The 49ers gashed them for 162, the Vikings over 200, and then in that debacle Monday night, the Packers for 187. It's hard to do much of anything defensively when you can't force the offense into any kind of a second and third and long.
Fake run, and Gannon throwing deep down the middle, complete to Rice. And Jerry Rice is inside the Bear 35-yard line. Charles Tillman, the rookie corner, in on the tackle.
Well, so much of the Raider offense off of play action. That time Rich sticks the ball out, fakes it to Garner, and as you will see over and over and over, the Raider receivers catch the ball going parallel to the line of scrimmage. So many crossing patterns for this Raider offense. They'll stretch it every now and then downfield, but without Jerry Porter, so many of their routes are lateral.
18 yards on that play. Tillman, the rookie. Rice was his idol growing up, and they're matched up early today. Up the middle, Garner. And the center of the Bear defense tough on first down, only a couple on the carry. Brian Robinson leading the charge from his tackle position. Crockett carried the ball only 3 times, including his first down carry. And there's Dick Jauron, a graduate of Yale, 8 years in the league, fine defensive back with the Bengals and the Lions. Had a terrific year, 13-3 2 years ago, was coach of the year, but staggered last year and winless this. On 2nd and 7, the quick toss is to Tim Brown, and his consecutive game streak is extended as he now is at 162 games in a row with a catch.
Well, this is what the Raiders do. They just spread the field. They've got talent at the wide receiver position. They put them everywhere. Take a look. 3 guys outside the numbers at the snap of the football. And there you get just the easy one. And it's Brian Urlacher who's lined up rushing on the other side. But the Raiders spread the field. That's their calling card on offense.
3rd down and 3. The Bears have given up a first down 55% of the times. 3rd and short. And they will again. As the pass goes to the tight end, and Doug Jolly has his 19th catch of the year in a first down. Jerry Azuma, now playing the nickel with Tillman starting, made the tackle.
The casual fan probably not aware of what a staggering percentage that is to give up on 3rd down. 55%. Your defense can't get off the field. The other team just keeps moving the chains. The Raiders are illustrating that right now. That's an astounding figure at 55%.
From the 23, a first down. Garner. And he rips a good gain to the 17 on first down of at least 6. And it was that kind of shredding of the defense by Ahman Green and the Packers that fans had to swallow on Monday night.
Just hammering away behind the right side. Frank Middleton comes over, and Charlie Garner, even though he's not a big guy, Charlie's only 190 pounds, very adept at running between the tackles. He can power run the football for a little guy.
Zach Crockett replaces him in the backfield along with Tyrone Wheatley. Wheatley set up behind Gannon on 2nd and 3. First down and more. Carrying tacklers to the 10-yard line. Wheatley with only 58 yards rushing in the first 4 Raider games. Philip Daniels and Warwick Holdman with a tackle, and it's just outside the 10, so the Raiders could pick up a first down without a touchdown.
This crowd at Soldier Field waiting for some kind of a rebound by this Bears team. that turned in an unbelievably disappointing performance Monday night when they opened this stadium against the Packers. They're waiting for some kind of show of life, of passion, of intensity by this Bears team. They better do it right now, or this crowd's going to get ugly.
Wheatley up the middle, spins right out of the tackle and bulls his way to the 3. They had him for a yard gain, and he rips it down to the 3-yard line as this drive now over 6 minutes long with the opening kickoff.
Just power football. And again, if you're the worst run defense in the NFL, it's not really that big of a shock that the other team's going to come at you. And the Raiders, of course, this is the big back, Tyrone Wheatley. Missed tackles. Missed tackles have been plaguing the Bears all year. They have got to fix it.
Michael Haynes, the #1 draft pick, was the man who had him in the backfield, and a good hit there as Crockett met rudely by Alfonso Boone, getting his first start of the season with the injury to Keith Traylor.
Explosive strength is what Dick Duran tells you that Alfonso Boone has. Boy, he got right in a good, sure tackle on Crockett.
Meanwhile, Brian Urlacher really straightened up by the block of Frank Middleton. Raiders offense, third down conversions, only 24.5%. Gannon looks for 6. Still looking. Nobody there. So he'll take it for a touchdown. No signal yet. No signal yet.
Rich didn't reach out with the football. He kept the football inside the framework of his body. I think if he'd have stretched out with it, he'd have easily broken the plane with it.
But they didn't have to score on third down. It could be a first down.
It could be. We were talking about there's a gap of about a foot in there. Look at the awesome amount of time that Rich Gannon had.
And it is a first down, so first and goal from a foot away.
And that was a good spot by the official. He didn't get in.
And it's Crockett on the goal line. No signal yet. And they're unpiling and apparently denied the touchdown. Bobby Gray coming up from the secondary to support the defensive line.
What a hit by the Bears defense. This is a real man coming at you right there. What a shot by Holtman, the linebacker.
Bill Callahan ready to put up 6.
Yeah. Well, he's just not used to seeing Zach Crockett in that situation not get it across.
Second and goal. Incomplete. Chris Hetherington, the backup fullback who sees limited duty, was the intended receiver. Brian Knight, who has lost his job to Lance Briggs with the coverage.
Well, this is really great work by the Bears defense, because let's face it, a second down and an inch or two, you're thinking power football, and they really honored their responsibilities in the face of the Raiders play action.
Good play by the linebacker Knight.
That's outstanding.
Third and goal. Crockett, and he is in the end zone for an Oakland touchdown. It took nearly 9 minutes with the opening kickoff, and the Raiders grind out 6.
Bill Callahan's thinking it's great to be home. May not be his home field, but it's his hometown, and a very textbook start to a football game by the Oakland Raiders.
Raider defense going to have to get and run a couple of laps just to get warmed up. It's been so long since they've been on the field.
I'll say this about the Raiders offense, that we saw them do this last week against San Diego, and then they fell behind.
Janikowski misses the extra point. Sebastian Janikowski had never missed a point after until that. It's 6-0 Oakland. Time consumed by 8 minutes 50 seconds on that long drive. The man kicking off, Sebastian Janikowski, however, badly misses the extra point after 147 made in a row. Never having missed. And here's Jerry Azuma, former Peyton Award winner at New Hampshire. His first return of the season, and he gets it out to the 29-yard line. The ex-Wildcat with a nice return. 6:03 left in the opening quarter, and the Raiders lead by 6. Chicago Art Institute, very nearby, Soldier Field, Lake Michigan off to the east. And Cordell Stewart, who came from the east in Pittsburgh to become the quarterback here. 40-3, the Bears have been outscored in the first quarter on the season. Anthony Thomas, they promised he would get more carries, and the Raiders, half the team and more, ready to greet him.
Well, Dick told you that Sebastian Janikowski's never missed a PAT. Good snap. The hold is solid. He just grossly hooks it off to the right side. So that is for a guy who's never missed one. I'm sure that right now he's in some sort of denial that happened. I'm sure it's disbelief.
Those usually come back to create some conversation in the second half when you miss one early. We'll see today. Stewart to Thomas up the middle. Good hole. Still on his feet. Big man from Michigan. The A train is back on track. Cordell Stewart had little time to throw against the Green Bay Packers, and the numbers and rating reflect it. Chris Valerial has started at right guard for the Bears for 7 straight years, and Anthony Thomas has rushed for over 2,000 yards in 2 years plus this season, and that was a good rumble out to the 46 of 15 yards. And Thomas again, right up the middle. Look at Thomas, barrel to the 36.
Well, that's good running by Anthony Thomas, but it's even better blocking by the Chicago offensive line. It's a massive hole for Anthony Thomas. Take a look at the blocking in the middle. Every Raider picked up. Gandy, Edwards, Kreutz, Valerio, nice job up front. Gibson sealed it off. And keep in mind that Monday night, Anthony Thomas didn't touch the football until the Bears' 5th offensive possession in the second quarter.
Dick Duran wasn't going to let that happen, obviously. Give it to him again. Behind the block of Des White as wide receiver. He has another first down. 15 yards, 18 yards, and now another 16. 3 consecutive carries.
And I dare say maybe for the first time in the new Soldier Field, the crowd came to their feet. Look at the hole on the left side between Gandy and Edwards. And again, you know, everybody focuses on how poorly the Bears play the run. The Raiders are 30th in the league, giving up almost 155 yards a game.
You can see the productivity of Thomas really increasing as the season's growing into shape. From the 21, trailing 6-0 early. Thomas, no hole that time, was actually stuttering inside the hole looking for that next block. Travion Smith playing for the injured Bill Romanowski, and will we see Romo again in a Raider uniform, made the tackle?
That's a very good question. Bill, who's had recurring concussion problems right now. Romo is fighting post-concussion problems, dizziness and fatigue, and Chuck Bresnahan, the defensive coordinator, unsure as to whether or not Bill Romanowski will ever be on a National Football League field again. Bill has some tough decisions to make.
A loss of a yard on the play. They call it 2nd and 10. Thomas on a misdirection. Flag down, however, and Thomas is out of bounds inside the 5.
Well, this most certainly will come back holding against Chicago.
Well, Thomas denied a 60-yard touchdown on Monday night on a holding call. And this one coming back, he had moved the ball to the 4-yard line.
Holding, number 58, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Chris Valerial, number 58.
You can see right there, right at the point of attack, he grabs Dana Stubblefield. And John Shoup is the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears. This guy has to say that he's a bullseye in this town would be an understatement. They are after him. You can't say he's not doing the right thing so far now.
Rabi Abdullah replaces Thomas in the backfield, and he takes the pitch. Cuts back to the 25, which will make it first down and 15. Charles Woodson, the all-pro corner, made the tackle. The Bears have not led in any game at any time this year. They're the only NFL team. And the Raiders have only been in front 3% of the time, but they scored at the right time against Cincinnati and the Chargers to go 2-2.
Well, this part here is really surprising. Only holding the lead 3% of the time, you're able to have a 500 record. Now that's back to that confidence thing we were talking about. How if you expect to win, a lot of times you do.
Late in the game, watch out. Third down and 14. Cordell out of the shotgun. Oh, that's going to take him out of field goal range. As Tyler Brayton, the rookie #1 pick from Colorado, has his first NFL sack.
And this is a situation right here. You know the circumstances. Cordell, you just can't take that sack. You just can't take that sack. The coverage downfield, we're looking at Charles Woodson right there with outstanding coverage, working against David Terrell. You just can't take that sack, though. Move out of there. You've got the mobility and throw it away.
Look at this. The punter, Brad Maynard, under center. He has thrown a couple of passes that have gone for scores.
They're not going to do anything.
They jumped offside.
But still, it's 4th and what, 20-something?
Rod Coleman, but will that move them at least close enough for Paul Edinger to try what would still be a long field goal as long as this year is 43?
Well, there would be 47 if they move it up 5.
False start. Number 4. Offense.
Well,
5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, now it's a moot point as it goes against the Bears, as everything seems to have this young season.
That's Maynard playing quarterback. You know, you can have a tremor, you can have a little shake, but you can't do a full-blown head bob and not get called for it.
Putter bob, huh?
Yeah.
So now the punt to Philip Buchanan, ever dangerous. Buchanan lets it go into the end zone. So the Raiders with the lead will start at the 20-yard line when we return to Chicago. Only 32 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Hey, we have an exclusive here. Late show on Monday night. Dave's got newlywed star Jessica Simpson, plus the latest Survivor castaway Lillian. And later this week, don't miss Uma Thurman and George Clooney. Dave's all new all this week here on CBS. First down, Garner. Those light feet of his as he skips out across the 25. A 7-yard gain on first down.
How sweet life is for an offensive football team when you run it for 7 yards on first down. At 2nd and 2 or 3, the world is a truly wonderful place. Bill Callahan realizes it. It's a great thing.
He looks up at the clock as the final seconds tick away, and that's it for the first quarter here at the new Soldier Field. Raiders 6, Bears nothing. Will return to Chicago after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. You can see the old colonnade still present on the outside of the new structure. As the first quarter numbers reveal again, both teams unable to stop the rush very effectively. On 2nd and a short 3, Tyrone Wheatley punctures the 30, and that'll be enough for a first down. Mike Green and Alfonso Boone make the tackle. 2 brothers, 1 kid, no grown-ups. Newsweek calls it the season's funniest new sitcom. Charlie Sheen stars in TV's most watched new comedy, 2.5 Men, Monday after Raymond on CBS.
Every time I hear you say no grown-ups, that I think of our broadcast crew.
That's only fair. Please. We all remain kids.
That's exactly right.
Tyrone Wheatley tries the center of the Bear defense, and he's greeted there by Brian Urlacher and company, and we greet Bonnie Bernstein.
Well, Dick, Rich Gannon says the Raiders are pretty realistic. He said, yeah, we beat the Bengals, we beat the Chargers, but we have a long way to go. He said, right now we're trying to develop an identity. Dan, I think you put it well when you said they're a chocolate cake with a bunch of different frosting. He said, we're simple. We run the same plays over and over again with different personnel groups. Basically, his goal is, he said, we're injured. We just want to get to the halfway point and be in the thick of things.
Thanks, Bonnie. It's 2nd down and 9. Garner and Gannon to throw. for Garner, and it was well read by Urlacher, who was shooting in between Gannon and the receiver.
Well, that time the pressure's coming off the corner. When you take a look at it, Holdman totally unblocked, but that's part of the Raiders' scheme. Rich Gannon saw him immediately, and a little disappointed, I think, that Garner wasn't in a better position to handle that football. Rich read it quickly, but it wasn't executed.
3rd down and 9. Alvis Whitted, the speediest of the receivers, to the right. Both Brown and Rice to the left. And 3rd and long, it's Rice and Brown you have to look for. They bring the corner blitz, and Gannon throws incomplete for Rice. He had Doug Jolly, the tight end, wide open down the middle.
That's why it takes 11 guys to execute a play. That blitz, you're right, Dick, was perfectly picked up by the Raider offense up front, but a miscommunication between Gannon and a receiver downfield resulted in that incompletion. It was excellent blocking.
Shane Leckler leads the league in punting, 51.1 average. His net is 41.1. That's better than the total kicking of the Bears. A late pickup by McQuarters, and he breaks into the clear. He's at the 40, the 50, only the punter to beat. Travian Smith and the punter Leckler make the tackle, and they have a chance to cheer as the Bears are inside the Raider 30.
You know what happens, Dick? The coverage team sees the ball rolling around on the field, and they think that it's going to end up being a dead ball, that nobody's going to pick it up. So you have a natural tendency right about now, oh, let's kind of just slow her down a little bit. You know, it's not going to be that big a deal. And then, woof, McQuarters picks it up and surprises everybody by bursting through that first line of coverage.
R.W. McQuarters, 54 yards on the return of a 51-yard punt.
That was just, that was well done by McQuarters.
He was critical of the fans Monday night for their excessive booing, and so he took some added heat as well this week. Thomas working his way into a hold of the 25-yard line.
Well, it was no surprise that the A-Train was going to get into this game early, having been a late entry last week. A busy first quarter. He's the recipient of some fine blocking by the Chicago offensive line, getting into the Raiders secondary a lot of times untouched. But again, it does so many different things, Dick. It helps Cordell in the passing game, and it's keeping that 32nd ranked defense on the bench.
2nd down and 8. Passing down, Stewart off play action, going to run it. And he has what appears to be a first down as he's tripped up in the secondary by John Perella chasing the play.
Cordell Stewart brings so much to the table as a quarterback. He's been targeted here a little bit in Chicago, but in reality he's had very little help offensively. He's been blitzed mercilessly, and let's face it, all those years in Pittsburgh he did have a very solid ground game to help him, and like any quarterback, he's a whole lot better when he's got somebody toting the leather behind him.
16-yard line, first down, and Thomas hitting the backfield as submarining down low. The Raiders able to stop him for a loss. It was Napoleon Harris, a Chicagoan, the middle linebacker. Well, now, which quarterback not projected to start here in this season is having the best year thus far? Is it Bolger, Couch, Farrat, Johnson, Leftwich, Testaverde? Cast your vote at NFL.com. Anthony Thomas stays in the backfield with Stanley Pritchett, the blocker in front of him. 2nd and 12. Stewart. Incomplete for Pritchett in the flat. Pritchett has carried the ball only 3 times all year and caught 5 passes. He's out in front of Thomas to clear the way.
On the Bears' only other possession, they made it to the 21-yard line, and because of a penalty and a sack, they ended up with no points. Here they are again in excellent field position. They've got losing teams have to capitalize. Our field judge, Bill Lovett, can't seem to find his hat. He lost it on the last kickoff return, we're being told, and someone's absconded with it.
That could have dire consequences. Marty Booker, the leading receiver for the Bears the last couple of years, and catching nearly 200 balls, but a quiet season for him. Only 11 catches in the first 3 games, unable to reach back and grab that one. And so out comes the field goal unit and Paul Edinger. And of course, with a missed extra point by Janikowski, the field goals, you only need 2 of those now to get even. Maynard to hold. A 35-yard attempt. Edinger has been perfect this year, 5 for 5. He turns his back to business before he kicks. There, he back turned. And then the quick whip that uses that to get momentum and nails it down the middle. 11:05 left in the half. R.W. McQuarters sets up the field goal. Edinger with a 35-yard field goal after the 54-yard punt return by R.W. McQuarters. Ronnie Jenkins returns for the Oakland Raiders. Misses the first 2 tacklers, but got a little extra help, and a flag is down, and the Raiders, the NFL's most penalized team, will have this one come back a few. Referee Walt Anderson.
Illegal block. Block in the back. Number 47, return team. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
I'm sure Tyrone Wheatley is saying, wait a minute, I'm a running back. What am I having to do? Block somebody.
So the Raiders will start from their 9. And welcome back to the Windy City. Baseball happy Cubs fans are taking a breather watching the Bears today before they play at Atlanta in the decisive 5th game tonight. Gannon sidearms it downfield, and it's complete to Teo Johnson. Johnson, the rookie from Stanford, the basketball player and football star with the Cardinals.
Well, Teo Johnson, let's put it this way. Bill Callahan loves this guy, and they have a premier tight end in Doug Jolly, but this guy is special. And sidearm, how does Rich Gannon get that much mustard on the ball? Has to throw it around Philip Daniels, who's rushing him, and yet still gets it on a deep out after throwing sidearm.
Johnson's second catch, that was worth 20 yards. Good throw to Wheatley, caught it on the dead run, and Wheatley with 16, 17 more before Charles Tillman can bump him out of bounds.
Such a hard pass to throw. I'm sure Rich, if he had it over, wishes that ball was maybe a foot higher, but its placement as far as being out in front of Tyrone Wheatley and letting him catch it in full stride was perfect. And that was a pretty good job of Wheatley going down and getting that football. You'd be surprised how many times you see a running back drop that ball being a little low.
Raiders quickly from the 9-yard line all the way out to their own 45. Garner with a 50. Bounces outside. 40. 30. And out of bounds at the 22. Tim Brown leading the way. R.W. McQuarters finally got the tackle.
What a block by Doug Jolly, the tight end. He gets on to Warwick Holdman, the linebacker right there. You see how he takes Holdman out of the play? And then he screens off the secondary. What a tremendous block by Doug Jolly. Right there, number 88. You see him to the right of your screen? Look how long he stays on that block and seals off Holdman back to the inside. That's what made that play happen.
33 yards for Garner. Gannon to the flat, complete. And it's the young receiver Ronald Curry with his second catch. Mike Green makes the tackle. Over 1 million people are playing fantasy sports on CBS Sportsline. Don't miss your chance to get in the game. Check out all of the great fantasy sports games and sign up for leagues that are forming today by clicking on fantasy at cbssportsline.com. That run by Garner of 33, the longest of the year for the Raiders. Garner coming out, Wheatley in. And the throw almost into the arms of the rookie Tillman, but Tillman made contact, and the flag flies. Jerry Rice, the receiver. And it is interference against Tillman.
Pass interference. Number 33, defense. First down.
Tillman from Louisiana Lafayette. Good long arms and quick feet. Is what Dick Geron likes about him.
Well, your first hint that there was some sort of interference is the fact that Jerry Rice is flat on his rear end. Now, again, though, that was very close, that contact. You know, you get a 5-yard zone,
right,
but you don't get to make contact when the ball's in the air. That's why it's interference.
First down from the 11. Wheatley. It's about 3. Tron Lefevre, the rookie from Florida, gets a piece of the tackle, number 73. Well, the Raiders and the Bears have had the ball less on offense than any teams in the NFL.
It really does surprise you. And if you look at all those teams, you know, Seattle's having a fabulous year. And the Raiders have been big plays. That's how they've been in it. And today, Chicago well behind the Raiders here early in TOP.
On 2nd and 7 from the 8. Wheatley. Urlacher, and a flag thrown. Urlacher, who leads the Bears again in tackles, and a holding call against the silver and black.
Holding. Number 66, offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Langston Walker, who is starting at right tackle for the injured Lincoln Kennedy.
Some are holding and some are just bulldog takedowns. and that's a bulldog takedown right there. Lance Briggs, the rookie linebacker from Arizona, found himself under 6'8", 350-pound Langston Walker. He did everything but tie him up.
That's right. I was looking for the rope in his mouth. Get those ankles tied. Garner now, the setback. Triple left, and now Tim Brown in motion, and then back to the outside. Looking that way, incomplete. Intended for Jolly. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 17. And a reminder that coming up, Nextel halftime report with our buddies Jim, Dan, Dion, and Boomer. They'll have all of today's early scores and highlights coming up on the Nextel halftime report.
Well, the Raiders are already well inside Janikowski's field goal range, so I'm sure Rich Gannon's going to think touchdown here. This isn't where you just went 5 or 6 yards to set up a field goal. He ought to try for the end zone.
3rd and 17. Empty backfield with Garner well to the right. Gannon is flushed. Throws incomplete. Again, it was the tight end Teo Johnson the target. And out comes Sebastian Janikowski. Remember, he missed the extra point, hooking it to the right. And we'll see how much he corrects that. Sometimes with that in the back of your mind, you're a little too far left.
Kudos, by the way, to the Chicago secondary. They really tightened up their pass defense when the Raiders got deep into their own territory. Rich Gannon really had nowhere to go with the football.
This will be 37 yards. And this one is good. Janikowski makes amends. 7:35 left in the half. It's 9-3 Oakland. Stay on CBS. Critics say Survivor Pearl Islands is entered on the smash hit Survivor Thursday at 8/7 Central on CBS. Jerry Azuma on the kickoff return. Can't get to the corner and is dragged down at the 19-yard line. That's where the Bears will put it in play, trailing the Raiders 9-3. Looking to the north from Soldier Field to the skyline, Buckingham Fountain, and there's the time of possession 2-1 favoring the visitors from Oakland. Anthony Thomas, the lone setback. Chicago starts from the 19. Play action. Stewart throws it away.
Late
and a flag down. Des White was the receiver in the area, and Travian Smith was the man applying pressure, chasing down Cordell Stewart. Cordell Stewart, when we talked with him on Friday, Dan, you appreciate how really tough Stewart is. I mean, there's some critics of Cordell going back to Pittsburgh, but he plays hard.
There is
Coaches
no foul
love him.
for illegal contact as the quarterback was out of the pocket. Second down.
Yeah, you're just a runner once you get out there.
Yeah, he was well out of the pocket. And Dick, he took such a beating in that game Monday night against Green Bay. They were just merciless in the way they blitzed Cordell Stewart. You can see Cordell's almost to the sideline and pays the price there being tackled by Smith. But there was contact downfield. But once the quarterback, the passing rules change when the QB leaves the pocket. And Chicago in negative numbers there passing.
Quick throw over the middle is complete. And the fumble picked up by the Raiders. Charles Woodson has it. And Woodson is tackled at the 24-yard line. Desmond Clark had the ball, but belted by Eric Barton, who's been playing great linebacker for the Raiders. And the first turnover of the game goes to Oakland.
Well, I think the Bears are going to want to take a look at this replay to try to see, did Desmond Clark have possession long enough? I think from that angle, it certainly looks like he caught the football and took 2 or 3 steps up the field before it came loose. You can see right there, but it's being pulled out. Eric Barton, the linebacker, what a job he did of putting both hands on the football and stripping it from Clark.
Raiders with a big turnover at the Chicago 24, and there is the challenge.
Yeah, I think this is just a case where Dick Duran's going to say maybe we won't get it, but it's worth the chance to not turn it over so deep in our own territory.
Chicago is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass and a fumble recovered by Oakland.
But another outstanding play by Eric Barton, who was key in stopping the Chargers in the second half last week. Timeout.
The Raiders up by 6. Here's Desmond Clark right here. Watch him. He catches the foot. A tremendous one-handed catch, but he puts it away and takes several steps upfield. Keep in mind, the ruling on the field was that it was a completed catch and a fumble, which means that Walt Anderson's going to have to see definitive proof otherwise. And I just don't see how he's going to see that. He's got to see something that clearly shows him that he never had possession of that football. And from that angle, and all the other ones, it just appears to me open and shut case.
So far this year, this is total 53 reviews and 11. Almost 1 out of every 5.
And I think that number will stay at 11.
After reviewing the play, it is a catch and a fumble recovered by Oakland. The ruling on the field stands. Chicago is charged with their first timeout.
But you're right, Dan. Dick Duran at that point, he's got a chance to challenge. You need whatever you can get in this situation.
And he gives his defense a chance to gather themselves. It's a shame for Desmond Clark, and I guess this is the kind of thing that happens to teams when they're not winning. But he makes a spectacular one-handed catch, and look how it turns out. Talk about good going bad. That's it.
So first down, Raiders leading 9-3 from the Bear 24. Garner in the backfield. That's Teo Johnson, the tight end, way outside. Garner the other way and run out of bounds by Brian Urlacher. And we're going to run quickly to New York for this update. So the Patriots strike with a long ball from Bledsoe to Brown. Second down and 9.
I think Tom Brady might have.
Or Brady. Right. We didn't hear the report. Bledsoe has not been traded back to New England. That's just a total error. Just a rumor flying through here.
That's okay. That's all right. Certainly, Drew Bledsoe's thrown enough to Troy Brown over the years. That's right. a tough combination for a lot of years. Now it's Bledsoe to Molds.
Third down and 7. And a key defensive play again for the Bears, trying to deny the Raiders a touchdown after the fumble recovery. Albus Whitted had it, a perfect throw from Gannon, and might have taken it in for the touchdown. Mike Green was the closest Bear.
I'm back to saying it takes 11 guys. Chicago comes with an all-out blitz up the middle. The Raiders pick it up perfectly. They're going to rush 5 guys here between the tackles. Here comes Brown. Take a look at this. Here comes Gray. And Rich Gannon delivers a perfect strike to Albus Whitted, and he just flat whiffs on it.
39-yard field goal attempt by Janikowski, and he's got it. So the Raiders get 3 out of the fumble recovery and extend their lead to 12-3. On the new Soldier Field, you see they've kept the colonnades. They've built this new stadium, and the field is exactly where it was in prior years.
It looks like the spaceship from Close Encounters of the Third Kind landed on Soldier Field.
Janikowski sends it all the way through the end zone, and the touchback for the Bears at the 20-yard line. And we remind you tonight on CBS, one detective will take on murders that have gone unsolved.
Of Chicago, Illinois.
Wasn't that fun yesterday out at Wrigley Field to sit with the enthusiastic Cubs fans hoping they could wrap up the playoff with the Braves?
This is some town. I don't think I'd never been here without feeling invigorated. The life and the energy that exists in this city, it's something special.
Big heartbeat in the city with broad shoulders. Cordell Stewart has it deflected at the line of scrimmage by veteran John Perella. And again, we have another NFL update. Let's go to New York. Jim, so the Dolphins come up with a big play on the reverse. 2nd and 10. The toss is to Abdullah. And he's ripped down after a short gain of a couple. B squared, what do you have for us?
Well, Dick, we saw how rabid the Chicago fans were last night at the ball game. Cordell Stewart knows what the pressure is like in Chicago. He said, I knew when I came here, people thought I was Moses and I would part the Red Sea. He's had trouble delivering the miracles for a couple of reasons. He admits this offense, this West Coast-based offense Chicago runs, is vastly different than Pittsburgh. And at times when instincts have to take over, he still thinks he's with the Steelers. The other problem is with the makeshift line, he spent quite a bit of time on his keister. He's been sacked 14 times already this year.
That's right. He leads the league of quarterbacks in being sacked. Got some time here, and then it breaks down, and he's hit from behind by veteran Trace Armstrong. And you know he's savoring that sack, the former #1 pick of the Bears.
Well, luckily, following up on Bonnie's report, he fell on all fours and not on his keister after getting sacked by Trace Armstrong. So at least his keister got out of this intact.
Armstrong, the veteran, now some 37 years of age, persevering, and finally found Stewart from the backside. Philip Buchanan back. Brad Mayer, who's had a punt blocked or deflected in every game, and watch out for Buchanan. He's one of the best. But a good play, and a late flag is thrown on the first block, trying to free Buchanan. Also, Moa was the rookie from California, I believe, hit him in the back.
That flag came in so late, I couldn't tell if it was a flag for that play or the first flag on the next play. That baby was late.
We'll get it tackle at the 48.
There is no foul for illegal block by number 21. The block was from the side, and the action was legal. It's first down.
That's a good job of the officials getting together and talking it over. Also, I think that flag was so late, the statute of limitations actually came into play.
There's one ball at the 46 and another at the 49. We'll see where they started. It'll be from the 49. Now the Raiders in a 12-3 lead against the Bears, and the defense back on the field for Chicago. A mammoth offensive line for the Oakland Raiders. The defense of the Bears, they know they can't run into them. They got to try to get around them. They really seal it off inside. Gannon. First down the middle, complete to Johnny. And the tight end is tackled at the 34-yard line. Mike Brown made the stop.
Well, it's always fun to keep an eye on Brian Urlacher. This guy is a sideline-to-sideline player, but now he's kind of settling back into that hook zone, trying to keep an eye on where Doug Jolly is going. I don't know if Jolly moved a little bit out of Urlacher's zone or if he just lost track of him for that half a second that allowed Jolly to get open, but that's all the more crease that Rich Gannon needs to find a guy.
17 yards on that throw. And now to Garner. Tries to get outside. Urlacher can't find him, and the tackle made by Warwick Holdman, the fifth-year backer from Texas A&M.
Well, Urlacher found Frank Middleton is what he found, all 340 pounds of him. I don't think he thought the big guard is going to get all the way out to the outside. You see right there, Middleton clears Urlacher right out of the way. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, that's a pretty good face mask. Warwick Holdman got away with that one. He even got up. It looked like he was expecting the flag, and there wasn't one.
Gannon wide open as Rice, and the pass just off his fingertips. Urlacher chasing from behind, and he went after Rich Gannon, actually.
Well, this time Urlacher's coming on the blitz. You see the little cross, and he does a nice job. He's accounted for, but he does the Olay move and gets around and puts a hat on Rich Gannon, and it kind of forces that pressure, forces Gannon to just overthrow Jerry Rice just a smidge.
3rd and 8. That's Teo Johnson, the tight end, moving up to the left. And the other tight end, Jolly, in motion, and they're going to run left to Garner. And look at this. Garner races down to the 15-yard line, and Jolly threw a key block out in front. Garner thought he had a touchdown.
And this is what Charlie Garner, in the 10 years he's been in the National Football League, has brought to every team he's played for. Explosiveness, he can jump, he's just got wonderful running instincts. Let's watch Brian Urlacher. You can see he's got pursuit, but he takes a shallow angle and he chooses to run inside of a blocker, and that shallow angle cost him the chance to make a tackle.
Just over 3 minutes left in the half, and the Raiders deep in Bears territory again from the 15. Gannon complete to Jolly, and Urlacher wrestles him down. Maybe a yard gain on the play.
For a minute there, it looked like Urlacher was going to go right over the top of Doug Jolly, didn't it?
Young man from University of New Mexico, 3 years in the league, 3 Pro Bowls. He runs sideline to sideline. That's what all the coaches, they rave about his ability to cover the width of the field.
Well, these are 2 young stars going against each other that time, Urlacher and Doug Jolly. Jolly's only a second-year player, but this kid's going to play in some Pro Bowls before his career is over with.
Jolly in motion. It's Tyrone Wheatley, and he's cut down low by the rookie Charles Tillman.
Well, Tyrone Wheatley is upset as we look at Warwick Holdman on the ground. He's upset because he got tackled by a guy who was on the ground. Doug Jolly knocked Tillman flat, and Wheatley gets tackled by a guy who's lying on the ground. Yeah, he's got reason to be upset about that. You got to make some people miss, especially a guy who's down flat on the ground.
That's a good effort by Tillman, though,
Sure.
not to give himself up. And then Holdman in the back of the play. Great to be in Chicago, and as we suggested at the start, the running game would be critical, and who could stop the run?
Well, and the Bears are running the ball fairly well, Dick. They just have no passing game yet. I think they're still in negative numbers in terms of passing game. It just, you have to have some semblance of balance.
Warwick Holdman, the word is a sprained ankle. 3rd and 9 for Gannon. Down the middle, incomplete. Intended for Ronald Curry, and out comes Janikowski again. So a moral victory of sorts for the Bears defense to at least deny the touchdown.
And Rich Gannon, again, an emotional football player. It looked like he was barking at Curry a little bit.
Curry in his, in essence, first year as a professional, no catches coming into the year. Janikowski, this one from 32 yards. And it's straight on 15-3 Oakland.
Like a spaceship landed here. On the other side, it looks like a cruise ship when you look at it from
It does.
a distance. It looks like some of these new ultra modern cruise ships. But inside, I think everyone agrees, what an upgrade over the old Soldier Field. Hard to find. Talk about apples and oranges.
Those are all the suites that you see in the background. As Janikowski's kick skids down to Jerry Azuma. And Azuma is stopped right at the 20-yard line. And Tuesday on CBS, everyone thinks.
Well, we'll see what the Bears can do here in a minute and 45. They have 2 timeouts. Remember, they lost the timeout in that unsuccessful challenge of whether or not it was a fumble by Desmond Clark.
Anthony Thomas behind Cordell Stewart. The quick out to Des White. And he has the catch for about 5 yards. Terrence Shaw makes the tackle.
Looks like Cordell got stepped on by his left guard, Steve Edwards. In a passing situation as a quarterback, you got to skedaddle out of there.
Well, they didn't stop the clock on that out-of-bounds catch, and White gets another, and he got to the 36-yard line. The Bears have 2 timeouts to use. White is the only receiver with an average over 9 yards a catch. More penalty yards than pass yards for the Bears as Stewart takes off and slides at the 42, but the clock will run, and we're under a minute. Rod Woodson, the veteran safety, and Cordell says, I'll use one of those 2 time breakers. We'll be right back.
Check out 37-year-old defensive end Trace Armstrong. You know, it's
that's a bear hug.
I gotta tell you something, Dick. It's a new league in the way you can grab people and hold on to them. Aaron Gibson that time just again put the old horse collar on him, and down he goes, and no yellow flag.
Stewart throws the slant complete to Booker, and Marty Booker is at the 30, the 20, the 10, and he's written out by Travian Smith. They say he stepped out of bounds at the 10. A big pass play for the Bears.
Take a look at this, the dreaded crossing pattern, man coverage. And when you have man coverage by Philip Buchanan and then a missed tackle by your safety, that results in a big play. And Cordell, hey, he's just happy the passing game moves into positive numbers.
And that was a 7-point tackle by Travian Smith, the linebacker. You think he can't run? He chased the play all the way and finally got to Booker. 41 seconds as the clock stopped on the out-of-bounds play. That pass was worth 48 yards. Fake to Thomas. Stewart to the end zone. Nobody clear as Des White was double covered.
Well, but pretty good accuracy. He hit the post. If this was some kind of a contest to throw into a bullseye, watch Cordell. Right on the A.
Get an A for the throw right in the Bears, huh? Whoops, here's the foul.
Holy, number 88, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Desmond Clark.
And the second time today that the Bears have been deep in Oakland territory, and a holding penalty has moved them back. Just can't, you know, mistakes are magnified in the red zone. Dick Duran knows that as well as anyone. It just seems when you're struggling, these are the types of things that happen to you. Boy, it's tough to get yourself out of a hole.
So from the 20, first and goal. 36 seconds left in the half. Stewart, another flag down. And so is Stewart as the rookie Tyler Brayton makes the tackle. Chris Valerial, the veteran guard, and it appeared he tackled Armstrong. So that'll take it to the 30-yard line.
Well, I think we got multiple fouls. I think we had illegal use of hands and holding against the Bears. Double dipping here. Good news for Chicago, you can only enforce one of them.
Trace Armstrong will make the call. He's the president of the NFL Players Association. He's used to making the tough decisions.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both by the offense. Illegal hands to the face, number 69. That penalty is declined.
Mike Gandy.
Holding, number 58, offense. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards, still first down.
Valerio is ticketed.
That's what you might call an unsuccessful play. All the way to the right. There's hands to the face mask. And then here's the hold to the right. See all the way there? Valerio, number 58. You know, 2 penalties and a sack. That's really good.
First and goal from the 30. And now the interception. Charles Woodson on his way. And Stewart able to get in his path and get him out of bounds and save the touchdown. Got to give it to Cordell Stewart and center Olin Kreutz that denied what appeared to be a sure score when Woodson picked it off.
Well, Cordell showing that he can really scoot, because I agree with you, Dick. At midfield, I thought Charles Woodson was going to score.
He's got a running start, as you can see.
Just they're attempting to run just about a 3-yard out pattern to the slot receiver. I think that was Desmond Clark.
13th interception thrown by Stewart on the season. A 51.
I take it back. Marty Booker, 86, was the slot receiver, and Cordell just drops it right into the hands of Charles Woodson.
16 seconds left, so Gannon has time for a couple of plays from the 24-yard line of the Bears. Janikowski has kicked 3 straight field goals. And Bears hoping that that's all that the Raiders will get out of this. Gannon, good protection into the flat. Complete. Crockett gets out of bounds at the 15-yard line. 8 seconds remaining in the half. Oakland has not had to use a timeout.
Just I want to make a point here, Dick, before everybody just buries Cordell Stewart. Keep in mind that they were forced into that position after back-to-back holding penalties on the offensive line that moved them from a 1st and goal situation into a situation where you got to throw the football. And I know Cordell Stewart is the guy that threw the interception. I'm not absolving him of that, but there's plenty of blame to go around in that Bear offensive huddle.
Gannon going for 6 for Rice, and it's incomplete. Good job by Charles Tillman to stay on the veteran Rice, and out comes Janikowski with 3 seconds on the clock.
If the Chicago defense can say anything, at least we're denying the Raiders touchdowns and forcing them into field goal tries.
Janikowski, who missed the extra point on the touchdown that opened the scoring today, now tries to add a 33-yarder to those that he's already hit here in the second quarter. 36, 39, and 32. Shane Leckler doing a good job of setting it up, and 4 Janikowski field goals. And now it is 18-3, and the Bluebirds start to tweet.
An outstanding job there by Shane Leckler of fielding a low snap and giving Janikowski a good hold. Coaches would rather have touchdowns, but at least you're making all your field goals.
Let's go down to Bonnie.
On the positive side, Dick Duran, your defense is holding the Raiders to field goals instead of touchdowns, but how do you jumpstart the offense?
There's not a lot of positive sides. You know, our defense hasn't been able to get off the field. Then when we get our offense out there, we can't stay on the field. So it doesn't lead to winning football. You know, we got to find a way to get them off the field faster, to stop the run, and then we've got to run the ball, keep them off the field. We got to score when we get our chances.
Coach, thanks.
Well, twice, he's right. Duran had his team down in 1st and goal and could not come up with points. 18-3 at halftime. Stay tuned. Watching the NFL on CBS.
Chicago, they're just looking for any bright spot. They've been in good scoring position at times, but mistakes have backed them up. And as a result, the Raiders are completely dominating the statistics. You know, and look at this in terms of it's not a runaway in terms of yardage or anything like that, but it's almost 2-to-1 in plays, which results in almost 2-to-1 in position. But 3rd down conversions are really a killer. The Raiders are having their way. Look at that, 5 of 9. That keeps the chains moving. The Bears haven't converted a single 3rd down. That's what Dick Duran was talking about. We can't get our defense off the field.
Janikowski has it teed up, and Jerry Azuma waits at the other end and comes up to field it on the run at the 14. And he continues to run all the way out near midfield. Steps out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. Eric Johnson bumped him out. Let's go down to Bonnie.
Dick, Bill Callahan very pleased with the defensive game plan coordinator Chuck Bresnahan is calling. He said the key has been our pass rush, because really one of the big concerns coming in was containing Cordell Stewart. He said we've been able to mix up the coverages. Our defensive backs are doing a great job on the receivers on the offensive end. He said the key is converting in the red zone. Look for Teo Johnson and Doug Jolly, the two tight ends, to get a bunch of looks there.
Well, the man from the south side of Chicago, Bill Callahan, happy with the first 30 minutes. Anthony Thomas turns the corner and out of bounds at the 46-yard line. And Chicago Bears in that first half.
And their offensive leaders, such as they are, Cordell under 50% passing game is made yet. And as you see, all the yards in quarter number one, nothing in the second.
Thomas on 2nd and 8, able to wiggle through a hole, and Tyler Brayton, the rookie defensive end, makes the tackle at the Raider 47. It'll be a couple of yards short of a first down.
And now the Bears, Dick, who've yet to convert a third down, are seeing moving. You're in Raiders territory. Just get little positives one at a time.
And this first possession to lead to some points. 18-3 Oakland. Thomas. He's got the first down as he barrels to the 45-yard line. Tackled by Barton and Dorsett.
And this is exactly what the Bears have to do. No brain surgery here. Keep giving the ball to Anthony Thomas. Follows a good lead block. Good surge there by the right side of his offensive line. A running game is the only thing that's going to save the Chicago offense.
He left Michigan with a rushing record of 4,400 yards and 55 touchdowns.
And a $110 last week against Green Bay.
They pick up the blitz. Thomas, however, is dropped at the line of scrimmage, and there's that evil yellow flying from the secondary. Holding against Chicago.
Oh, this Chicago offensive line is going to get a real tongue lashing at the end of this game and all week in practice if they don't quit holding.
Number 78, offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
I bet you he can build up some riding time too. More wrestling than football.
1st and 20. Stewart chased out of the pocket and trying to get to the sidelines and tackled at the 50-yard line by Napoleon Harris. Well, Napoleon Harris gets his first open field hit. Played his college ball at Northwestern, grew up here in Chicago, went to Thornton High School, and he told us he couldn't wait to get back home. Mama cooked him barbecue on Friday night and Saturday night.
And a bunch of his Raiders teammates were the beneficiary of Mom's barbecue. Philip Buchanan, one of the first guys in line to go with Napoleon over to Mom's house.
Said, what do you like most? He said, all of it.
Well, at least he's not a piggy about it. He shares with his teammates.
2nd and 15. Cordell, ball flops out of his hands, and Charles Woodson has the interception. And finally tackled at the 46. It appeared that Stewart's arm was hit as he delivered the ball, and Charles Woodson comes up with his 13th career interception.
Yeah, no question the pass rush hits Cordell Stewart. Looks like the pocket is great right there. Looks like Travion Smith, number 56. Initially, Cordell Stewart has a good look at the field, but oh, actually it wasn't Smith. The hit came from the other side.
And then a personal foul to add insult to the injurious interception. The second by Charles Woodson today, and his 3rd of the season.
Dick, I couldn't see the number, but one of the defensive ends, I think, got a hand on that.
After the ball was dead, there were fouls. There were 2 fouls on the play, both by the original passing team. Personal foul number 35, that penalty is declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 57, that penalty is accepted. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Those are frustration fouls. And Olin Kreutz and Anthony Thomas both a little unhappy at the moment.
Let's credit Rod Coleman coming in 57. Look at his left hand. He's the guy that hits the throwing arm of Cordell Stewart, forcing that interception.
Raiders from the 31. Charlie Garner. A couple of yards on first down. Cordell Stewart has been sacked twice. A couple of interceptions today. Bonnie, what have you observed?
When we were in the last commercial break, Dick, Cordell, I get the sense he's really at his wits' end at this point. He had fans behind the bench yelling at him, things I can't repeat on television, and he got so frustrated he actually tossed a cup of ice water back at the fans.
Yeah, that's not easy for any athlete to be ridiculed. There's a nice piece of defense by the rookie Charles Tillman on Tim Brown, who was juggling the ball, and then Tillman made sure he didn't bring it in.
And my initial thought here is that Rich Gannon delivers a football right though onto the hands of Tim Brown. Is this it's on the back shoulder pad, a little bit behind him, but still a football that a lot of times you'll see Tim Brown catch.
By the way, Dan, Tim Brown earlier in the game caught what appeared to be a pass. It's been ruled officially a lateral, so he is without a catch today.
And what doesn't Jerry Rice only have one?
Yes. 3rd and 8. Gannon all day. Now dumps it off incomplete. Doug Jolly was his safety valve, and Lance Briggs doing a good job defending.
Rich Gannon trying to find anybody open anywhere on the field. There's Jerry Rice. Jerry's going, why can't you find me? But really, Gannon delivers another very catchable ball to Doug Jolly, and he drops it.
This will be a 47-yard attempt by Janikowski. Would make it 5 for the game. That would equal his best. Blocked. And the Bears will get it, as Janikowski seemed to hit that one pretty low. One of the few things that's gone wrong for Bill Callahan today is Janikowski missing an extra point, and now this attempt from 47 low into the leaping Bears, blocked by Boone. So the Bears take over at the spot where Janikowski tried the field goal. The 37 was the line of scrimmage, or the spot of the kick. And Anthony Thomas burrows for a couple. And we remind you that our compatriots Phil Simms and Boomer Esiason weigh in on the hot topics every week. This week, Phil talks about the toughness of Cordell Stewart, while Boomer addresses Terrell Owens' outbursts. It's only at NFL.com or at NFL on AOL. And we're not going to tell you what Dan DIERDOFF is going to contribute. But if you log on, you're going to be surprised.
TBD. To be determined.
That's called a surprise. Second down, Thomas. And he's wrapped up at the 43-yard line, about 4 yards shy of the first down. John Perella makes another good defensive play.
Many people have played quarterback for the Chicago Bears in the last 4 years. You can see none of those names are redundant. 23. I mean, this is astounding. 23 total quarterback changes in the last 4 years. Now, granted, those were a lot of them rotating different people and the same people intermixed, but you know, suffice to say that there hasn't been much in the way of continuity at the quarterback position.
Abdullah in the backfield on 3rd and 4. And the throw underneath is complete to the tight end, and to show he hung on, Desmond Clark lofts it high. He is the leading receiver for the Bears on the year with 12 catches coming in. You know, you talked about the shuffle of the quarterbacks. How about Napoleon Harris when he came in to chat with us yesterday? He had word for word the entire lyrics to the Super Bowl shuffle of 1985.
Well, he was a kid growing up here in Chicago, and I think he joins tens of thousands of kids in Chicago that know that song word for word.
Name a player, and he had his lyric.
He did it pretty well, too.
Anthony Thomas returns to the backfield. First down at the Raider 46, and early movement. This time Clark at tight end. And if it's on Chicago, it will be their 8th penalty of the game. One denied a run by Thomas down to the Raider 4-yard line, remember, in the first half.
Start. 88, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Dick, how long have you been covering the NFL?
Since 1966.
Have you noticed over that period of time that bad teams seem to make more mistakes than good teams?
The old good sailor, bad sailor. The wind's always into the face of the bad sailor.
Isn't that the truth? The Bears, they have a tough road to hoe here anyway, and they're making it a whole lot harder.
Stewart on the draw, and Thomas gets outside to the 40, and a good open field tackle by the veteran Rod Woodson. Woodson playing with injuries, can't even practice during the week. What a pro, this 38-year-old star who has 69 interceptions and 11 Pro Bowls.
We've got an all Big Ten matchup here. Purdue going against Michigan, and Rod Woodson showing why. Yeah, of course, he's only gone to Pro Bowls, Dick, as what, a cornerback, a safety, a kick returner. He's pretty much done it all.
He is the true definition of a pro. Coaching young defensive backs with him. 2nd and 4, and a mix-up in the backfield. Stewart ran into Thomas, and Dustin Lyman, the tight end, trying to block, was in the mess as well. Lyman trying to get through and put a block on Travian Smith, wearing that familiar number 89 in the dark blue and orange of the Bears.
That was not an attempt to confuse the Raiders. That was just a busted play.
Mike Ditka's old number. My first Bears game. Hi, Mom.
Oh, she's wearing a Mike Singletary jersey. Good choice.
3rd and 6, a loss of 3 on the play. They show blitz and then pull it off. And come with a corner blitz, and another deflected pass incomplete. And it was Eric Barton, who continues to be one of the outstanding players on defense in the league. We've seen him the last 2 weeks, and he comes up with big plays.
And again, let's see what kind of a job the offensive line does. There comes Woodson. He's picked up on the corner blitz. And Cordell Stewart just can't find anybody open in time until the pressure is right in his face. And an inability to control the line of scrimmage is killing this Bears offense.
Ball State's Brad Maynard to punt. Philip Buchanan, University of Miami, lets it go into the end zone, and the Raiders will have it at the 20-yard line. 7:06 left in the 3rd. The Bears and Bonnie, soon to be seen on CBS. Raiders at the 20. Gannon looking down the middle, deflected in the air and intercepted. The Bears come up with it, and it's Alex Brown, the defensive end, who caught the carom. Alfonso Boone got a big hand up there. It was Boone and Daniels who collaborated on the blocked field goal, and there's Boone again, number 70.
He never even left the ground. That was some vertical leap. Both his feet were still on the ground, but Alex Brown alertly heard it hit his hands and then looked up, and falling backward. Hey, don't say these defensive linemen can't come up with something.
So when you look at the stats and see Alex Brown with an intercepted pass, that's how you get him.
And Alfonso Boone elevated all of about a -1 inch off the ground.
Well, that 328 pounds, you got to get that running start. So can the Bears take advantage, and a flag again as the ball inside the 20-yard line.
Not another penalty on the Chicago offensive line.
False start. Number 79, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
I know the line is have to be more focused than to make mistake after mistake after mistake.
So it's 1st and 15. Thomas. Nothing inside, nothing outside, as it was closed off by Tyler Brayton. They love this young rookie from Colorado. Snap to whistle kind of player with a high motor. Saturday, folks, Chris Leak will lead the Florida Gators into Death Valley to tangle with Matt Mauck. That's the ball. Yeah, a good little handoff there by Tillman. Tough time. Tandem.
Well, who wants the ball on this Chicago offense other than the A-train?
2nd and 15, deflected and caught by Olin Kreutz, the center. What a series here, and now a flag goes down. Derek Gibson secured the play.
There is no flag for illegal touching. The ball was touched by the defender. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, the minute to flag that. Now, if that bounced off a Bear and Kreutz gets it, then that's illegal touching.
But it's Gibson, the safety.
Olin Kreutz, I know it's instinct to catch it, but probably should have just batted it to the ground.
Yeah, that would have saved him some yardage.
It would have saved him some yardage, but that's tough to criticize a guy.
Right.
Instincts take over, and there it is. Besides, who knows? Maybe he could have run with it.
We've seen linemen really rumble here in Chicago.
Somebody on this Chicago offense needs to try to make a play. Can't blame Olin Kreutz.
Stewart steps up, throws incomplete. The receiver fell down, was not knocked down, the ruling. Marty Booker over on the far side.
This looks like a jailbreak back there in the Chicago pocket. Cordell Stewart dodging, trying to find somebody, and again, his familiar pose on the ground at the end of an offensive play. So this is a Chicago offense that, other than with a couple good runs by Anthony Thomas and one pass completion to Marty Booker, Dick, there's been precious little.
Edinger will try a 50-yard field goal. His longest ever is 54. Got plenty of leg. It's good. His longest of the season. Paul Edinger gives the Bears a needed 3, but it's Oakland in front, 18-6. Broad shoulders, Chicago, Illinois. And the way the Bears are going, they're going to need broad shoulders.
The best thing the Bears have going for them right now is the Cubs in the playoffs. Because that's keeping a whole lot of ink being devoted to how poorly the Bears are playing.
Kick by Edinger is short to rookie Justin Fargas from Southern Cal. And a flag down as Fargas twists and turns and is down at the 31-yard line. Holding against the Raiders.
During the return, holding, number 32, return team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
And so we'll take a break. Bears fan.
When you lose 15 of the last 17, I guess that's inevitable.
Hibernation has begun. Magnificent October day. Look at the colors in that shot. Woo. As the Raiders and Bears go back to work at the 20-yard line, Rich Gannon sets him up, leading 18-6. Garner wrapped up after a yard gain by Brian Urlacher, number 54. Tonight on CBS,
Be investigating the Bears offense. That seems to be MIA right now.
It's been cold. 2nd down and 9. Gannon deep down the field, incomplete for Ronald Curry. We saw Urlacher in that last play, 54. This is kind of a merchandise battle as well as just a fight between two NFL teams. Urlacher's 54 is the one jersey most purchased by fans around the country. That's the most popular jersey. Well, there it is. And the Raiders as a team, the Raider jerseys are the most popular team jerseys in the nation. Just a little factoid to fill the gap.
And the Raiders having the lead proves that it's a team game, not an individual game.
Well said. On 3rd and 9, and Gannon and Urlacher meet, and Urlacher gets the sack. His first full sack of the season, had a half a sack coming in.
And as hard as it is to believe, because of this Bear defense and the fact that they have been stingy with touchdowns, the Bears are still in this game. As you see, Urlacher goes right through Charlie Garner to get to Rich Gannon, but still only being down by 12 points with almost 20 minutes of football left. Who knows?
R.W. McQuarters has had one good return. Oh, a good job of fielding a low snap. And the kickoff from Leckler. McQuarters Got by the first wave, but not the second, as Chris Hetherington and others make the stop. A 56-yard punt, only 5 on the return, and we have a timeout. 4:21 remaining in the third quarter. Let's see what the Bears do in good field position.
Dear DirecTV.
Yes, America's most watched network.
And bringing you up to date on what is happening around the National Football League. Charlie Garner leading the pack right now with 80 yards rushing on 11 carries.
Those are the early results.
We are on top of everything.
First down, and Stewart dumps it off, and short yardage out of the backfield. Stanley Pritchett. Trace Armstrong wraps him up,
and Cordell just gets hammered on a pass good for about a yard. This is a heck of a price to pay, as Cordell Stewart has been getting whooped up on all day today. And that interception to Charles Woodson, I don't have the exact number, but Cordell Stewart has ended up on the ground certainly the vast majority of his pass attempts today.
What did he tell us yesterday? I can take the hits. My mom and dad did a good job of putting me together. Anthony Thomas trying to put a run together and has some room to roam, and have a first down at the 45-yard line.
Few bright spots for the Bears offensively today, but Anthony Thomas certainly has been one of them. In the first quarter he exploded. The second quarter he got nothing. Now that we're in the third quarter, he's back getting some positive yardage. Stanley Pritchett out front gives a pretty good block. And again, this line obviously much better at run blocking than they are pass blocking. So anytime you could take advantage of handing the ball off to Anthony Thomas, it's a double plus for the Bears.
In fact, the Bears have more penalty yards, 77, than passing yards, 59. Pritchett on a little trap inside, and he picks up 9 to the 46 of the Raiders. And as much as the Raiders have been in command of this game, should the Bears score a touchdown here late in the third?
I know, as improbable as that seems, they're right in this game. Nice piece of misdirection. Aaron Gibson comes around the corner, number 78, and absorbs a couple people. See, at 400 pounds, you don't block people, you absorb them. It's like an eclipse. You just disappear for a while and then reemerge on the other side.
When you're reborn, though, as an all-pro, you'll be 400. That's what it's going to be someday.
Heaven forbid.
2nd and 1. Stewart. No one downfield, so he tucks it away and picks up close to a first down. He's right at the 45, and would appear he has it. Travion Smith shows that speed again to run him out. Let's go to Jim Nantz in New York. So the battle of the unbeaten at Arrowhead, and the Chiefs draw the lead.
The one thing we know for sure about that game, the decibel meter is off the chart.
We'll see those Chiefs next week in Green Bay. Stewart going long. Oh, what a catch! A leaping grab by Marty Booker as he fights off Terrence Shaw.
When Cordell Stewart lets that ball go, Shaw and Booker are beside each other. I mean, look at this coverage by Terrence Shaw. It's perfect. But Marty Booker is the one who goes up for the ball, and Shaw remains flat-footed on the ground. Look at that job by Marty Booker of saying, I'm the one who deserves this football, and goes up and gets it.
Boy, that was a brilliant catch by Booker, and 28 yards go with it. First down at the 17. Pritchett fumbles the ball and falls on it. That was the same play that worked for a good gain of 9 yards earlier on this drive. Now the Bears look at 2nd and 10.
This is some deal they're running here where Aaron Gibson, the right tackle, is pulling all the way over there, and that's, watch this. That's not lightning in a bottle there, folks, but he gets over there,
and there was
look
a
at
hole.
the hole. There was a hole. I wouldn't call that exactly a burst, but it was effective. If the ball would have been on the, he did, he absorbed it.
And obscured. 2nd and 11. They lose a yard on the fumble. The throw is complete to Booker, and he pays for it. There's a vicious hit from Anthony Dorsett. Famous football name following his dad Tony into this league.
When Booker attempts to turn upfield, he can't get his legs underneath him. There's no way he can turn upfield with any power, so Dorsett has his way with him.
So the ball will be at the 15-yard line and possession of the Bears when the fourth quarter begins. We'll return to Soldier Field after this message and a word from Soldier Field, a 200-foot long granite wall and water cascading down. Some of the artistic touches as Cordell Stewart looks for the big play on 3rd and 8. You see the Bears holding Oakland to -2 yards in that third quarter. Stewart toward the end zone. Touchdown! A diving catch by Marty Booker. Well, Marty Booker made 2 absolutely outstanding catches in that drive.
Well, he doesn't run a quick slant. He goes upfield 3 or 4 steps before he slants to the inside against Charles Woodson. And Cordell Stewart delivers a strike. And Dick, as we talked about it, as ugly as it has been, the Chicago Bears miraculously here in the fourth quarter are in this game.
Ettinger's point after. 18-13. What a year it was. Answered points by the Chicago Bears to pull within 5. Marty Booker being attended to on the sidelines. Booker with 94 yards on his 4 catches and that big touchdown grab of 15 from Cordell. Short kick. Fargas fields it after juggling and is brought down from behind at about the 33-yard line. And here's the touchdown that culminated the 67.
How great is that? Really super?
You can put that, frame that one, that last picture, those 2 young boys.
But Marty Booker is hurt. There's something wrong with him. He was flat on his back on the trainer's table during that timeout, during that break after his score.
Empty backfield for Gannon, who has missed 5 in a row. Not this time. Tim Brown has his first catch, and it's a big gainer all the way to the Bear 47-yard line. R.W. McQuarters was the cover man for Chicago.
And here go the Raiders, Dick. They're going to go right up to the line of scrimmage, it looks like. We saw this in the fourth quarter last week against San Diego. The Raiders go to this no huddle. It's not really a hurry up, but it's a no huddle, and Rich Gannon runs his beautifully.
And Tim Brown's string of catching a pass goes to 162 straight games. Underneath, incomplete to Garner. Lance Briggs, the rookie who starts for the first time today, was there to cover. The touchdown by the Bears, by the way, now in their 4th game of the year, only their 5th of the season, and it took some spectacular catches by Marty Booker to make it happen.
And he's still being talked to by the medical staff of the Bears.
Empty again. And Teo Johnson sent way out to the left. And batted in the air, incomplete. Brian Robinson, the 305-pound defensive tackle from Fresno State, makes the play.
Well, there's no pressure like pressure up the middle, and completely turned loose by the right side of the Raiders offensive line was Robinson. If you want to see Rich Gannon boil over, just keep blocking like that. That'll do it.
Well, the Bears, with their effort here in the second half, they've got their fans on their feet. Third and 10. Flushed out, and he throws it away. No flag.
Well, he was outside the pocket, so Rich Gannon's smart to dump the football. He knew he wasn't going to give up the yardage.
Alex Brown with the pressure.
It's a rollout. Watch Gannon. He just makes a quick fake. But Alex Brown had contained on that play after they ran a line stunt, and he showed a good burst getting upfield to pressure Gannon.
Now Gannon now 11 for 27 in the game with an interception, only 119 yards.
And for the first time today, the Bears are playing with real enthusiasm.
R.W. McQuarters with a flag down, and Leckler Sends it by McQuarters and through the end zone, and now we'll check the penalty flag back where Leckler delivered the kick. And it's holding against the Raiders. We'll see if they make Leckler, the strong-legged #1 punter in the league, deliver another.
I'd be tempted to almost take the ball at the 20-yard line. You can argue this either way.
Prior to the kick, holding, number 62, kicking team. 10-yard penalty, still 4th down.
They're going to make the Raiders re-kick it. You could argue this baby either way, I think. Be satisfied with it at the 20. But if you got confidence in your return game, maybe you go for a big play.
There's Adam True, the man who snapped the ball on Joe Tafoya, who had slipped through the gap.
That's a smart hold. The hold is not nearly as bad as a block punt.
Oh, Leckler ready to kick again, and let's see if they try to go after him. Oh, he's got a tremendous leg. McQuarters says stay away from it, and it's going to sail out of bounds. They'll get a little extra yard out of it. There's a yellow flag thrown on the sidelines, and it could be for one of the Raiders coming downfield, stepping out of bounds, being not coming back into the field of play immediately. Let's see. They want to know, the Bears, where the ball would be if they decline the penalty. And there's no official that it.
If that's where the ball went out, you got to take it there.
You bet.
Well, he's not at the 32 anymore.
He's saying the 26 now.
Now he's down to the 26.
Before the kick, number 21 of the kicking team voluntarily went out of bounds. That's a 5-yard penalty. It will still be 4th down.
Well, now.
Beautiful kick, drives it deep. McQuarters lets it go into the end zone. That Leckler has some leg.
He does.
62 yards, 42 net, and it will be the Bears at the 20 when we come back. New Soldier Field and park atmosphere. Some of the colors of fall present. Even the ivy at Wrigley Field starting to show some autumn browns and earth colors. From the 20-yard line. Quarterback draw. Flag down.
Now, this is hard to believe that the Bears and their offensive line continue to make mistake after mistake.
10th penalty today against Chicago. They're getting close to the 100-yard mark in penalties.
Holding, number 79, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Steve Edwards guilty there as we go to New York and Jim Nantz.
Back to Dick and Dan.
All right, thanks, Jim. Boy, there's some good games going on today.
There sure are. And this one may not be the prettiest game, but it's still competitive.
Stewart somehow gets out of that and then takes a tremendous hit. Fights his way out to the 18 as Charles Woodson came up from the left corner to greet him. Rod Coleman was shagging him from the backside.
Well, initially, you know, a little fake toss, but Cordell wanting to throw the quick slant to Stanley Pritchett, couldn't find it. But look at this hit. I think Rod Woodson in a little bit of disbelief that Cordell Stewart didn't go down. Instead of a tackle, he went for the hit. You know, Woodson, instead of wrapping up, went for the big, you know, the highlight hit. And Cordell Stewart said, well, you better bring more than that, because that's not enough.
Woodson 200 and Stewart about 220. Up the middle. Anthony Thomas caught from behind, however, short of the 1st down by Trace Armstrong. It'll be 3rd and 3 here. First, back to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, thank you very much, Dick. And the Bills in their last 3 games have not scored a touchdown in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd quarters until the final 42 seconds today of the 3rd. Is Travis Henry taking that little pass from Bledsoe for the lead. 12 minutes to go in that one. Let's go back to Dick and Dan.
All right, thanks, Jim. Travis Henry, who's been on the injured list, producing a touchdown. And there goes, speaking of injuries, valuable property for the Bears. Marty Booker going in to be attended.
Something happened on that touchdown reception, even though he still bounded up and handed the football to the youngster in the end zone.
3rd and 3. Incomplete, and no chance at all for David Terrell as he was covered by Terrence Shaw. So with the penalty moving the Bears back, they couldn't overcome 1st and 20.
And the Bears offense, not exactly a star-laden group. When Marty Booker goes up the tunnel, 97 receptions last year, 100 in 2001. Boy, they lose some firepower.
Philip Buchanan, who told us yesterday, don't kick it to me. I can make it look ugly for the other team. I think I'm going to go all the way every time I catch it. Beautiful kick by Maynard. And a great coverage by number 26, Todd McMillan. The Raiders have the ball at about their 20 on a 53-yard punt by Brad Maynard.
13 lead over the Bears, and Chicago receiver Marty Booker just went into the locker room. He's getting x-rays for an injury he sustained scoring that last touchdown. He evidently hurt his left side. I'll let you know when we have more information, Dick.
All right, thanks, Bonnie. First down for Garner and the Raiders. Boy, he just gets so many yards after the first contact. Garner is so patient a runner. Alex Brown finally with a tackle.
You know, in the new NFL, jerseys fit so tight because you don't want to have any loose fabric that a defender could grab onto. Check out what's happening here to Anthony Thomas. It's, you know, it's not supposed to be this hard getting my throw.
Got to take a timeout during a timeout. Second down for Gannon. Fires to the sideline for Rice. Did he keep his feet in? Yes, he did.
Wow. Oh. A Rembrandt reception there.
Working on the rookie Tillman.
Look at the body control on the sidelines by Jerry Rice, a guy that's going to be 41 years old on the 13th of this month. Oh, that's beautiful. That is special.
Ageless one has his second catch today. Garner looks for the hole. And it's plugged up nicely by Urlacher and company.
Looking at Jerry Rice make that reception. I got to tell you something, Dick. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've been to whether it was a 49er practice or and watched him practice that on the sidelines. He'll have an equipment guy throwing it to him. If in the rain and the snow, it doesn't make any difference. The most tireless worker I've ever seen. He's relentless. That was the byproduct of a lot of practice.
Down the middle it goes, complete to Tim Brown at the 34-yard line, and Mike Brown, not related, made the tackle. And again, the no huddle going to be used by Gannon and the Raiders.
Well, right now the Raiders are working a little of that fourth quarter passing magic that they used last week. They were down 2 touchdowns to the Chargers and came back and forced it into overtime. Urlacher shades of Dick Butkus as he throttles Charlie Garner coming out of the backfield.
Tyrone Wheatley in there now, along with Zach Crockett. Gannon going deep. No, just throwing it away. Doug Jolly was close enough, but it broken to the inside. Well, the last time Jerry Rice played here at the old Soldier Field was in the 1988 NFC Championship game as a member of the 49ers. In that game, played in wind chill of -26. Rice scored 2 first-half touchdowns and finished the day 5 catches, 133 yards, short sleeves and all.
Who's that number 16 guy throwing the ball? Was he any? Who was that? Was he any good?
Joe Montana.
Oh, is that who that was?
That's old Joe. I wondered. I was trying to help you. And there's a deflection and an interception. McQuarters with blockers. 30, 40, 50 to the 45, and the Bears fans sense that they might win this game.
Trying to get the football, looking left, coming back to the right side on the slant pattern to his tight end Doug Jolly. The ball was high. I don't know if it went through the hands of Jolly or just hit them and popped them up in the air. In fact, he hit him right on the hands, but Doug Jolly almost looked like a volleyball game. Instead of bumping it over the net, he bumps it up into the air right to RW. And the Bears, who needed a break badly, Dick, got it.
43 yards on the return, his 7th career pick. Now can Chicago make full measure of this turnover? The second interception from Gannon. Cordell play action. Nobody open deep. Lots of room over here. And finally out of bounds inside the 30. Good bit of acting by Cordell to throw off 2 Raider defenders.
And Travian Smith was the last Raider defender, and he was a little nonchalant as far as whether or not Stewart was going out of bounds. The quick pump right there, that freezes everybody. And right there, you know, Cordell Stewart almost stayed in bounds. That almost was a Chicago touchdown.
16 yards on the scramble, 45 yards rushing for Cordell, who has rushed for over 2,500 yards with the Steelers.
And I think there are a lot of people in California right now that are in disbelief.
Now it's Thomas getting outside. 15, 10, and inside the 10. Oh, my. They've been able to seal the edges, the Bears, in this game, and Thomas able to turn the corner again.
Everybody knew the A train had to play a big part if the Bears were even to be in this ball game. And look how this offense is moving without Marty Booker.
Second straight game that Thomas has rushed for over 100. He now has carried 18 times for 115. It's 1st and goal at the 9.
Now no penalties if you're the Bears. Every time they've been down here, they've self-destructed.
Thomas hitting the backfield and stopped after a yard gain as Napoleon Harris with a good surge defensively, and Travian Smith there to assist. Has anyone ever really gotten off the rock? Alcatraz? Well, coming up right after the game, some of the world's toughest competitors will give it their best shot at the New Balance Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon. For more, go to CBSSportsLine.com.
I've gotten off that rock before. I came back on the same tour boat that took me over.
You weren't doing that butterfly kick of yours?
Hey, that's a great tour. When you're over there, you're going, how is it possible that somebody could get in this water and make it?
And how about the penalty of being in that prison looking at that beautiful city day after day? Well, a timeout has been called. 7:03 left in the 4th quarter. The Bears are on the Raider 8-yard line. The Chicago Bears are treading in unfamiliar territory. They're on the 8-yard line of the Raiders. This is a team that has not led today, nor has it led any opponent all year. And they're 8 yards away from capturing the advantage against the Raiders, who dig in. 2nd and goal. Different Bears this second half, especially defensively. The give is to Pritchett. Touchdown! The Bears are in the lead. Stanley Pritchett's first touchdown of the season.
Stanley mostly a blocker, and the receiver doesn't get a lot of carries, but a good misdirection and a good trap and kick out, and the Bears are going to go for 2, as well they should. Ooh, Stanley kind of bites the dust in the end zone. That was a keister landing, but up by 1 point. Going ahead 20-18 doesn't do you a lot of good, so you got to go for 2 and try to get up where a field goal will tie you, not beat you.
This is the first time the Bears under Cordell Stewart have tried the 2-point conversion.
And having, Dick, a quarterback who can run like Cordell, a real advantage here.
They spread it out. And now they bring it in tight. Triple load to the right. Stewart runs it. And he's in.
percentage play when Cordell Stewart from 2 yards out is going to run the football. And Bill Callahan got to talk to his offense and Rich Gannon. Now let's be realistic. They've been there before. Rice, Brown, Gannon, Garner. They've been behind. They've made a few comebacks. But who would have thunk it that the Bears are in the lead?
They led at halftime 18-3, and now 18 unanswered second half points as Pritchett on that trap goes 8 yards for the score. And then with 3 men set out to the right side, Cordell followed a wave of blue jerseys for the 2-point conversion.
That was a nice piece of ball handling there by Cordell as he handed it to Pritchett. Nothing fancy here. Student body right. And Cordell kind of nonchalantly just steps into the end zone. Without Marty Booker, their receiving star, the Bears still able to put together an outstanding drive and stuff it in the end zone.
Deflected pass intercepted by McQuarters with a long return to the Oakland 45. And 4 plays later, the Bears and their fans are able to celebrate the first lead of the season. Rodney Jenkins and Justin Fargas are back for Oakland. 6:58 left. Jenkins from the 6. Dangerous return man. And he's out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Tonight on 60 Minutes before going to prison for network. Well, the Raiders, we said at the very start of the telecast today, it's a team that expects to win. They showed that last week at home against the San Diego Chargers, down by 14 with 6 minutes to go. Tied it in regulation, won in overtime. Gannon underneath to the tight end Jolly. And he's hit at the 49-yard line by R.W. McQuarters.
Remember what happened in quarter number 1? The Raiders scored a touchdown, and Sebastian Janikowski misses a point after for the first time in his career. If he makes that, it's 21-19 right now, where a Raider field goal would win the game for them. Now, they're not in field goal range yet. They got some work to do.
First down from the 49. Gannon throws to the far side, and it's caught at the 40-yard line. Charles Tillman is all over Jerry Rice, but Rice, just as he knows where that sideline is, knows how to get his hands on the grass.
Takes a confident quarterback in his own ability to throw that football. Low and away where only Jerry Rice can make the catch. That was a magnificent throw by Rich Gannon.
12 more yards for Rice. From the Bear 40, Garner.
Rejected.
Only a yard as Philip Daniels makes the tackle. Bonnie?
Well, Lance, the Bears offense has put the points on the board, but it's the defense that changed the momentum. And we always talk about momentum shifts in football. Let's go back to the beginning or the midway through the third quarter. Alex Brown, the big interception. Then Brian Urlacher had a sack. Then you had Brown again on a clutch pressure on third down, and all of that has turned it around for the Bears offense and given them the opportunities.
2nd and 9. Fires sidearm to Jolly, and Jolly hit immediately by Lance Briggs. So short yardage, only a couple on the play. So 3rd down and long for the Raiders. Dick Enberg with Dan Dierdorff, Bonnie Bernstein, our producer Lance Barrow, our director Mike Arnold. Thank you for joining us here at Soldier Field as this one comes down dramatically to the final 4.5 minutes with the Bears leading by 3.
Well, you'd be looking at a 55-yard field goal from Janikowski here if the Raiders don't go any farther. Farther they better go.
Toss it to Garner. Urlacher can't make the tackle, and Garner is diving a yard shy of the first down at the 31. Mike Brown down low to make the tackle from his safety spot.
Well, this was it didn't get the first down, but I think it definitely moved Janikowski into field goal range.
Here he comes. He's 4 for 5 today. One was blocked from 47.
Urlacher got out there in front of it, but overran the play a little bit, and Charlie Garner with a nice, well-timed cutback.
This is going to be 48 yards, between 48 and 49. It'd be his longest of the season. He's got what wind there is at his back. It is, hits a post and goes through. Oh my, Janikowski kisses the yellow bar, and it's good to tie it at 21.
That thing looked like a knuckleball when it first came out of there. Now, when we say a guy puts a leg in it, Janikowski weighs 255 pounds. Watch it hit the upright and carry him right on through for 3 points. Leckler puts the ball down. And I'll tell you what, that ball was struck. And there it is. Say it's a game of inches. It wasn't struck all that well. At first, I thought it was going to come up short because it just
looked like he scuffed it when he made contact.
You know, if that was a golf shot, you'd say he hit it kind of fat. And that's, but it got there. And of course, that's because when you got a 255-pound kicker,
255,
he put, well, that's what he's listed. He puts a little juice on it.
49 yards, his longest of the season. With 5 today, ties his record, and he's now 13 for 14 on the season. He had 1 blocked in this game.
Well, Janikowski certainly has figured a lot in today's game, both with all the field goals he has made and with the extra point that he has missed. He's a hot topic of conversation as we've got a tied game.
3:30 left.
Do the math. Should be 22-21 Raiders.
Drives it toward Jerry Azuma at the goal line. Azuma. It's a great name for a return man. Azuma. Tackled by Tim Johnson, just activated by the Raiders before this game. Marty Booker, we're checking to see as they break huddle whether he's in there. Looks as if he's out to the right. So the Bears lead all of 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Nice tackle in the open field by Travian Smith as Anthony Thomas couldn't kick free, and he had some yards to gain, but for Smith.
And somebody up in the stands might have groaned right there going, geez, why aren't we passing the football? Anthony Thomas is still the primary weapon of this offensive football team, and you can't go away from him now. With over 3 minutes left to play, you still have to try to run the football. Yes, you're trying to win, but winning for the Bears, I think, involves still trying to run the ball.
2nd and 8. Thomas with a couple yards on that first down carry. Stewart on the option play. He keeps it to the 35-yard line, a couple of yards shy of a first down. They used that a couple occasions Monday night against the Green Bay Packers.
Cordell Stewart, such an accomplished runner at the quarterback position. You can do this, but it is not really one of the keys to longevity in the National Football League, running the option as a quarterback. It's a great way to find your way to the training room.
Bears don't have to run a play, and apparently that is going to be their choice as we tick it down to the 2-minute timeout. Tied at 21 in Chicago. Raiders at 21 with 2 minutes to go. Bears look for their first win of the season. The Raiders perhaps looking at their second overtime game in 2 weeks.
And you know something, Dick, right now what I'm struck with is all of Chicago was looking to see if this team of Dick Duran's had any heart. After their performance on Monday night, questions were everywhere that this team might just come out here today and lay down. They have not done so. Battled back here in the 4th quarter. This has been, I think, win or lose, something everybody here in Chicago was looking for out of this team. Some fight.
And a big play here at 3rd and 2 with 2 minutes to go. And Stewart to throw. Gets the first down. As he throws outside, Woodson and Smith make the tackle.
Now speed it up, Chicago.
Dustin Lyman makes the catch.
Well, Chicago being pretty leisurely here, and they're going back into the huddle and letting the clock run. Looks like they're giving me the impression now that they're thinking overtime's not all that bad.
Or if you're going to score, don't leave the Raiders with any time to come back. Ball at the 40-yard line, first down. Thomas gets 5. goes 6 yards before Derek Gibson can come up from his safety slot to make the tackle. Reminder, coming up on the Subway postgame show, Jim, Dan, Dion, and Boomer will have all of today's scores and highlights, and there have been some very key games. A lot of so-called undefeated seasons go on, live on, or die today. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Stewart on second down throws it away. And I mean, he throws it away into the second level over there on the far sideline, second row. Bill Callahan, just on the road, it has been very difficult for the Raiders.
Why? Because they've lost both of their games on the road?
Well, not played well, and they thought they had this game pretty well in check, didn't they, coming into the second half? But you settle for field goals instead of touchdowns. You miss an extra point, and it doesn't add up well for you. 3rd and 5. Woodson on a corner blitz. The pass complete to Des White. Does he have enough for a first down? Let's see where they mark it. Final minute here at Soldier Field in Chicago. The Bears trailed by 18-3 at the intermission and have rallied in the second half, tied at 21. In fact, took the lead at 21-18, but Janikowski's 5th field goal has evened it for the Raiders. There's a look at the summary, fairly even in the numbers. A couple of interceptions of Gannon on deflections have been key to the Bears' comeback, and now they measure either this will be 4th and inches or a first down for Chicago at the 50-yard line.
And Chicago ought to be getting a play called in this huddle. They got a free stoppage of the clock because of the measurement here. If they've got a first down, I'd be ready to go. I wouldn't waste the timeout.
They're going to have to bring in the chains from the near sidelines. As you look at the quarterback comparison, Gannon with more yards, each quarterback with a couple of picks. We started by talking of the importance of running the football, and for these two teams who have had difficulty all year stopping the run. And look at that, a couple of chain links shy of the first down. Now here's an interesting call. If you're Dick Duran, 4th and a couple of inches. If you miss, then the Raiders in great field position with a strong field goal kicker who's already kicked one from 49 yards. You make it, maybe you get down for the field goal to win.
I think you're the underdog. You haven't won a game all year. What does Dick Duran have to lose by going for a couple of inches? Yeah, I know he could lose the game, but he's telling his football team right now, I have enough faith in you guys. I think you've got what it takes to win.
Bears have 2 timeouts left that may come into play, 45 seconds, and the Raiders have all 3 of theirs. And there was a charge timeout on that measurement, so they have 1 timeout left.
I don't know why they would call a timeout in that situation.
Anthony Thomas, the running back. Stewart will sneak it ahead, and it appeared on that lurch forward. He got it. He did. They mark it at the 49. And the Soldier Field crowd of 61,000.
You got to take a timeout here. It's going to take you too long to get up there.
They have only 1 timeout remaining, and of course they want to save that for a possible field goal unit, but they may not get the chance if Stewart's going to ground the ball.
But geez, I don't understand why they took a timeout when they were getting a measurement. You should have been up there getting a play in the huddle, up at the line of scrimmage when the official spotted the ball, be ready to put it in play, and then now they wasted a whole bunch of time. You could have used that timeout here when you got a scrum going. Watch Cordell going up and over. A smart play on his part. He got the first down, but suspect clock management here by the Bears. Inside a minute here left in regulation.
Look where they marked it. Just dissects the 50-yard line. 21 seconds to go. Stewart scrambles.
Got to get to the
50,
35.
40, 35, and out of bounds with 15 seconds at the 32, but hold on. There's a flag down back at the 45 in Bears territory. And this has haunted the Bears if it's against them all day. Another. This will take them about 100 yards in penalties, 11 flag of the day, and it's been a drive breaker.
Holding, number 69, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Mike
Gandy, the left tackle. Again, flagged for holding. That's him to the very right side of the screen, working against rookie Tyler Brayton. Brayton spins to the outside, and he's just grabbed by Gandy. The Chicago Bears offensive line in this game has been hooking, grabbing, bulldogging, rodeo roping. They've been doing everything to this Raider defensive line.
97 yards now, Dan, in penalties.
As good as these guys are with their arms, I'd make some of them defensive linemen. They've shown they can tackle people.
Every one of the offensive linemen have been called for holding or a personal foul. Now what do you do with 15 seconds? How big do you gamble? They're showing corner blitz, and here comes Woodson, picked up by Pritchett. Open, however, is Des White, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. So right now they're a 50-yard line field goal attempt away.
They're well within Edinger's range. How about this throw by Cordell Stewart? And how about this coverage by the Raiders secondary as they completely lose track of Des White? Whoa. At this point in the game, how do you lose track of a guy by that margin?
So 9 seconds, Dan, to go. So they have a timeout. They'll run one play and then get in this man, Paul Edinger, who has kicked one today from 50 yards. His longest of this season, 54, the longest in his career. Anthony Thomas. And there's the timeout with 5 seconds to go. Unable to gain a yard. Stopped cold at the 30-yard line. Well, maybe a yard. And here comes Edinger. He's kicking into a very light wind, not heavy at all. And this will be a 47, 48-yard attempt to win the game. Edinger, the fourth-year kicker from Michigan State. He's been perfect this year, 6-for-6. Raiders with 3 timeouts may decide to let him think about it.
Yes, I would too. This has been some fourth quarter by the Bears. And right now, the Oakland Raiders have to be thinking to themselves of all the times that they were in Chicago territory and settled for a Sebastian Janikowski field goal instead of a touchdown.
Janikowski with 5 field goals, and on the very first score of the game, when the Raiders took the opening kickoff and a nearly 9-minute drive to score, he badly missed an extra point, first one he's ever missed as a professional. And that, of course, plays very big, as we suggested at the time. They always come back, those missed extra points. Now, don't forget, Subway postgame show will have the scores and highlights, and certainly this will be a highlight for the fans tuned in elsewhere. All coming up on the Subway postgame show with Jim Nantz and company.
Well, the Raiders played overtime last week when they beat San Diego, and right now that's the best they can hope for here.
Patrick Manley of Duke will be the snapper. The hold by punter Brad Maynard, and Edinger 48 yards away from the Bears' first victory of the season. An unusual style while he turns his back completely to the goal line. It is good!
Think it's been a long dry spell? Check this out. And you know something, Dick? I think the Cubs are going to win tonight. This might be Chicago's day.
Edinger drills it from 48 yards. A brilliant comeback by Chicago in the second half, down 18-3 at the intermission, and Edinger with a 50 and 48-yard field goal seals the victory. And what a brutally difficult return, homecoming return for Bill Callahan.